Let me ask you this, as I take over your show and throw you a question.
Go
Um,
ahead.
is Brent Venables calling his defense? I know it's his defense. Is he calling the plays?
No, he's not. He's actually given all the calling abilities over to Zach Alley, which has been really impressive this year.
Okay. Obviously, he plays a big hand in the game planning and all that.
Yeah,
I
yeah, I'm
recognize
sure.
all that. But if you're Venables and his DC, how are you trying to slow Tennessee down? In my opinion, you're not gonna completely shut down one thing and make it completely one dimensional. But we've seen it happen before. Pitt did it a couple years ago, and George has done it a couple of times against Tennessee. But I guess, are you putting this game on the shoulders of a young quarterback in Nico, meaning load the box, shut down the run, make Nico beat you over the top? Or are you trying to drop your backers, make everything, and allow Tennessee to run and try to defend the run with a light box? Because again, that run game kind of starts everything for Tennessee. So if you're Oklahoma, how are you going about defending Tennessee's offense?
I laid it out this way. I went back and looked at who has had the most success stopping, and you brought it up. Who's had the most success stopping Tennessee's offense? Maybe not necessarily stopping them, but slowing them down. And it's Kirby Smart. How does he do that? He puts five in the box. What you do is you rely on your DBs to make sure that they just focus on coverage and coverage only, and that those five in the box are going to have to stop the run. You do not want that run. I mean, it's dangerous play too, right? Because if the running game is as good as it's proven to be so far, and it busts through those five guys, and your DBs aren't paying attention to the run, which they aren't supposed to, then all of a sudden you break off. We saw that against Georgia a few years ago. Was it last year or the year before with a huge play right off the bat in
Yeah,
the run
yeah.
game?
First year's of the game, 54 yards, Jalen Wright
Yeah,
touchdown. Yeah,
yeah. So I mean, it's one of those things where I think you just have to find the right defense that's going to work, and I think the right defense would be stacking that box with five and expecting the other six guys to pick up their slack on the other side of the ball or on the other and back end of the field.
I think Oklahoma's got a pretty decent defense, and I think it's going to be pretty good by season's end. But I mean, it must be nice if you're Kirby Smart to do that. Yeah, put five in the
Yeah,
box, and you
yeah,
guys handle the run.
yeah.
Um, not many. No one else in America can do that because no one else has the toys to play with like Kirby Smart.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, and that's the tricky thing. And I do think that I agree with you. I think Tennessee, when you look at it on paper, which stats don't tell the whole story, right? They just tell you a portion of the story. But when you look at it on paper, I do feel like Tennessee has the upper edge on just about every single aspect of the game, outside of maybe the wide receiver core getting some fresh legs back, with Nick Anderson, Andrel Anthony possibly. Uh, he's been kind of weird, a weird injury to me why he hasn't been on the field, because he's been quote unquote 100% the entire time, but only saw a few plays in the first game. But with that, I think the wide receiver cores against the secondary is the only place where Oklahoma matches up well against and maybe wins the competition against the Tennessee secondary, but it's really easy to hide a secondary with your defensive line. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a very tricky matchup. It's hard for me to pick Oklahoma to win this game. It really is. The only way I see Oklahoma winning this game is if they hold Tennessee to 25 points, and that's really hard to do. So
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking if Oklahoma if you can hold Oklahoma to 24 or below, I think you're winning this game.
yeah,
We kind of had that conversation earlier in the week. So I mean, Tennessee doesn't need to be perfect. Style points, you don't. I mean, sure, style points go. Style points are always important, but if you win a game on the road against a top 15 team by 1 point, who cares? That is a win, and it's going to be reflective in those college football playoff conversations. So if you hold Tennessee to 24, or if you hold Oklahoma to 24 points, in my opinion, even if you don't have your best offensive day, I think that's going to be enough in this football game. But as I say every week, man, you don't play this game on paper. So we can talk about this all week long, and then we'll go in there and see what happens in that stadium, and it could be completely different.
yeah, definitely. It's going to be a fun one. I think if it's a defensive battle, I think it goes towards Oklahoma. And that's the only way I see Oklahoma winning is if you put it out there and it's defense against defense. But if it does turn into anything over that 25, I think it's going to be hard to watch. To expect Oklahoma to score 30 against Tennessee with an offensive line that's banged up and everything. But hey, Sooner fans, did you enjoy this video? Well, go ahead and hit that like button and go ahead and hit that subscribe button. What are you doing if you've made it this far and haven't already? You should be able to find that subscribe button over here. And then if you want to see full episodes, we've got those up here and clips right down here. So go check that out. But we thank you all so much for all the love, all the support. We'll catch you next time. Boomer.